Imagine having complete control over your mind, mastering your emotions, and facing life's challenges with unshakable strength. What if I told you that the secrets to mastering your mind and overcoming anything life throws at you have been hidden in Stoic philosophy for thousands of years? In this video, I'll reveal 10 powerful Stoic principles that will transform the way you think, act, and react, unlocking a level of control and power you never thought possible. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn will change your life forever. The first principle of Stoicism that can help you gain control over your mind is focusing on what you can control. In life, there are many things that we cannot control: other people's actions, the weather, past events, or even random occurrences. However, what we can control is how we respond to these things. The Stoics teach us to direct our attention to the aspects of life that we have the power to influence, and that's where our energy should go. This means accepting that some things are outside of your control and letting go of the frustration or stress that comes with trying to change them. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, you can't control the cars in front of you, the weather, or how long it will take. But what you can control is your response. Whether you get angry, frustrated, or if you take the time to relax, breathe, and make the most of the situation. This ability to focus on what's within your control reduces mental clutter and helps keep you grounded, even when external circumstances aren't ideal. By adopting this mindset, you stop wasting energy on things you cannot change, which ultimately helps you protect your peace of mind. When you focus on controlling your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions to the world around you, you create a foundation of calmness and emotional stability that no external factor can shake. It's about living intentionally, with awareness of where your power truly lies. The second principle of Stoicism that can help you control your mind is practicing mindfulness and self-awareness. Stoics believe in examining their thoughts and actions regularly to ensure they are in alignment with their values and principles. This process of constant self-reflection allows you to become more aware of your mental patterns and emotional responses, giving you the ability to consciously decide how to react to any situation. When you are mindful of your thoughts, you can begin to notice the moments when your mind starts to drift toward negativity, fear, or stress. With this awareness, you can intervene before those thoughts take hold and choose a more constructive or peaceful response. This is not about suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine, but rather acknowledging how you feel and choosing to approach situations with calm and rationality. For example, when faced with a challenge or a difficult situation, take a moment to pause and assess what's going on in your mind. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you thinking catastrophically? Recognizing these thought patterns allows you to shift your mindset, choosing instead to view challenges as opportunities for growth or as something that is simply part of life's natural ebb and flow. Through regular mindfulness and self-awareness, you train your mind to be more in control of your responses, rather than letting emotions or outside circumstances dictate your state of mind. This practice helps you develop a resilient, calm, and focused mind that can handle whatever life throws your way. The third principle of Stoicism for controlling your mind is embracing the idea of amor fati, which translates to the love of fate. This concept encourages you to accept everything that happens to you, both good and bad, as part of your life's journey. Instead of resisting or complaining about challenges, obstacles, or setbacks, you learn to embrace them and see them as opportunities for growth and development. When you face adversity, it's easy to fall into a mindset of frustration or resentment, but Stoicism teaches that these feelings are unnecessary. By practicing amor fati, you train your mind to not only accept difficulties, but to actually welcome them. Life is full of unexpected events, and the only thing you can truly control is how you respond to them. If you fight against the reality of the situation, you waste your energy and emotional resources. But if you accept what is happening and choose to make the most of it, you maintain control over your mind and emotions. For example, let's say you're dealing with a stressful work situation or a personal setback. Instead of being upset or discouraged, you might ask yourself, how can I grow from this? Or, what can I learn from this experience? By reframing the situation in this way, you shift your mindset from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. You start to see challenges not as obstacles, but as part of the process of becoming stronger and wiser. Amor fati doesn't mean you have to enjoy every negative experience, but it does mean that you choose to approach life with an attitude of acceptance, gratitude, and purpose. By embracing what comes your way, your mind becomes more resilient and capable of facing whatever the future holds. This mindset helps you regain control over your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to live more peacefully, regardless of external circumstances. The fourth principle of Stoicism to control your mind is practicing the idea of view from above. This involves stepping back and gaining a broader perspective on the situation at hand. In times of stress or frustration, it's easy to get caught up in the small details, allowing emotions and negative thoughts to control you. However, by adopting the view from above technique, you rise above the moment and look at it from a higher vantage point. Imagine you're in a heated argument or experiencing a difficult challenge in your personal or professional life. In that moment, it can feel overwhelming and you might react impulsively. But when you take a step back and view the situation from a broader perspective, almost as if you were observing from above, you start to realize that this specific moment is just one small part of the bigger picture of your life. You recognize that your emotional responses are fleeting, and that the problems you're facing are often temporary. By mentally elevating yourself from the situation, you can assess things more rationally. You're able to distinguish what truly matters from what's trivial. This perspective gives you clarity, allowing you to act with reason instead of being driven by emotions. For example, if you're feeling upset about a minor issue, viewing the situation from above helps you realize that it won't matter in a week, a month, or a year. The urgency of your emotions begins to fade, and you regain control over how you think and react. The view from above also encourages gratitude. When you widen your perspective, you start to see how small your problems may be in the grand scheme of things, especially when compared to larger issues that many people face. This humility and shift in focus can help reduce anxiety and help you focus on what truly matters. This principle helps you detach from the intensity of your emotions and develop the ability to respond to situations with calmness and clarity. By consistently practicing this mindset, you train your mind to stop reacting impulsively, allowing you to make better decisions and live with greater peace and balance. The fifth Stoic principle to control your mind is practicing negative visualization. This concept may seem unusual at first, but it's incredibly powerful. Negative visualization involves imagining the worst-case scenario, not as a way to dwell on negativity, but as a tool to prepare your mind for potential challenges and to appreciate what you already have. In our everyday lives, we often take things for granted. We become so used to our routines, our relationships, and our possessions that we don't fully appreciate them. Negative visualization helps us step outside of this complacency by imagining what life would be like without those things. It's not about expecting the worst, but about recognizing that everything is temporary and that loss is a part of life. For example, you might imagine what would happen if you lost your job, if a close friend or family member moved away, or if you lost your health. While these scenarios may be uncomfortable to think about, negative visualization serves two main purposes. First, it helps you recognize the things you take for granted and gives you a deeper sense of gratitude for them. By picturing what life would be like without them, you learn to appreciate their value. Second, negative visualization prepares your mind for difficult situations. Life is unpredictable, and by mentally rehearsing potential hardships, you become less reactive when they occur. You train your mind to handle adversity with resilience because you've already imagined how to cope with the worst-case scenario. This doesn't mean that you'll always be ready for every challenge, but it does help you develop a mental toughness that makes facing difficulties less overwhelming. The Stoics believed that by confronting the possibility of loss, we are less likely to be devastated when things go wrong. Instead of being caught off guard or feeling overwhelmed by adversity, you'll be more equipped to deal with life's challenges in a calm, measured way. Negative visualization isn't about being pessimistic. It's about recognizing the impermanence of everything and using that awareness to live more fully and with greater peace of mind. By practicing this technique regularly, you develop a mindset that is less attached to external circumstances, which ultimately helps you become more adaptable and resilient in the face of change. The sixth principle for controlling your mind is practicing focus on what you can control. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the idea of distinguishing between what is within your control and what isn't. This is crucial because we often waste mental energy worrying about things outside of our influence. The Stoics believe that peace of mind comes from letting go of these external concerns and focusing on the things that we can actually change. We all face situations where things go wrong or where life doesn't unfold the way we expect it to. In those moments, it's easy to become frustrated, upset, or angry. However, when you recognize that there are many things outside your control, other people's actions, the weather, or unforeseen circumstances, you can start to release that frustration. Instead of being upset about what you can't control, focus on what you can: your actions, your reactions, your thoughts, and your choices. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, it's not helpful to get angry about it. You can't control the traffic, but you can control how you react to the situation. You can choose to use that time to listen to a podcast, relax, or simply accept the situation as it is. By focusing on what's within your control, you can stay calm and maintain a sense of peace, even in situations that would normally cause stress. Similarly, in relationships, you can't control other people's behavior, but you can control how you respond. If someone treats you poorly, you can choose to remain calm and not let their behavior affect your inner peace. By focusing on your own actions and reactions, you free yourself from the anxiety that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. This principle also applies to your emotions. The Stoics believed that emotions often arise from our judgments about events or situations, not the events themselves. For example, if you're criticized, your emotional response is shaped by how you interpret that criticism. If you choose to view it as an opportunity for growth or feedback rather than an attack, you can control your emotional reaction and maintain your peace of mind. The more you practice focusing on what you can control, the less you'll be affected by external circumstances. You'll become more resilient because you'll stop wasting energy on things that are beyond your influence. Instead, you'll invest your time and energy into improving yourself, learning from your experiences, and making choices that align with your values. Over time, this practice will become second nature, and you'll find that you're able to maintain your peace of mind no matter what's happening around you. The seventh principle is to practice the dichotomy of control. This concept is fundamental to Stoicism and is about recognizing the distinction between what is within your control and what is not. This principle can significantly reduce stress and anxiety because it helps you focus only on the things you can influence and let go of everything else. We often spend a lot of time and energy worrying about things that are completely out of our control, such as the actions of others, the outcome of situations, or the past. The Stoics taught that we should learn to accept that some things are beyond our reach and that it is futile to dwell on them. Instead, we should focus on the internal, what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions. For example, if you're facing a challenging situation at work or in a personal relationship, instead of fixating on how others behave or what might happen, ask yourself, what can I control here? Maybe it's how I approach the problem or how I choose to respond to someone's behavior. When you focus only on your sphere of influence, the pressure to change things beyond your control melts away. This principle also ties into your emotions. Many of our emotional reactions come from attempting to control situations that are outside of our power. For example, if you try to control how others perceive you or how they behave toward you, it can lead to frustration. But if you accept that you can only control your own behavior and not the actions of others, you start to experience less anxiety and greater inner peace. The Stoics also believed that part of embracing this dichotomy is accepting what is outside our control with grace and understanding. Life will unfold in unpredictable ways, and sometimes things won't go according to plan. The key is to respond to these situations with equanimity, focusing on what you can do instead of stressing over what you cannot. When you live by this principle, you cultivate a sense of freedom. You stop wasting mental energy on what's beyond your control and focus on the present moment and what you can actively change. Over time, this will make you more resilient as you'll learn to navigate life's challenges with clarity, purpose, and calmness. By practicing the dichotomy of control, you stop being at the mercy of external circumstances and start mastering your own inner peace. The eighth principle is to embrace the idea of negative visualization. This is the practice of imagining the worst-case scenario in any given situation. It may sound counterintuitive, but the Stoics believed that by confronting and mentally preparing for potential hardships, you can build resilience and prevent unnecessary distress. It shifts your mindset from fear of loss to gratitude for what you have, and it encourages you to live more fully in the moment. Instead of dreading what might happen, you learn to embrace life's unpredictability with courage and clarity. The ninth principle is the concept of focus on what you can control. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the idea that we should only concern ourselves with what is within our power to influence and let go of the rest. Our thoughts, actions, and responses are within our control, but we cannot control external events, other people's opinions, or the outcomes of situations. This principle is rooted in the Stoic belief that we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. When you focus on your internal power, the way you choose to act, think, and perceive, you gain freedom and peace of mind. The key to controlling your mind is recognizing that many things are simply out of your hands, and resisting them only leads to frustration and distress. For example, if you're in a difficult situation, you may not be able to change what happened, but you have control over how you respond to it. If you're dealing with a stressful work project, you may not be able to control your boss's demands, but you can control how you manage your time, how you approach the task, and how you maintain a positive mindset despite the challenges. Focusing on what you can control brings a sense of clarity and direction. It stops you from wasting energy on worrying about things beyond your reach, which often leads to anxiety and burnout. It allows you to take actionable steps toward improvement instead of getting lost in overthinking or dwelling on things that won't change. The Stoics understood that external events are like storms, unpredictable and outside of our influence. Yet, how we weather the storm is within our power. When you visualize the worst possible outcome, you mentally prepare yourself for it. For example, imagine what would happen if you lost your job, a loved one, or had to face a significant setback in your life. By contemplating the loss or struggle ahead of time, you train yourself to accept it and prepare emotionally. The purpose of this practice isn't to dwell on negativity, but to eliminate the fear and anxiety that comes from uncertainty. The Stoics also believed that if you are always mentally prepared for adversity, you will be less likely to feel disappointed or overwhelmed when challenges arise. In fact, when the worst doesn't happen, you'll feel a sense of relief and gratitude. When you can shift your perspective in this way, you stop fearing the unknown, and life feels more manageable. Negative visualization helps you stay grounded in reality. It reminds you that everything in life is impermanent: people, possessions, and even our health. When we acknowledge that these things can be taken from us at any time, we develop an appreciation for what we have right now, and we stop taking things for granted. One of the most powerful benefits of this practice is that it frees you from the fear of loss. Once you've mentally rehearsed the possibility of losing something, you realize that your happiness and inner peace aren't reliant on external circumstances. By embracing the potential for loss, you gain a sense of freedom, and your attachment to things and outcomes becomes less rigid. Additionally, when you mentally prepare for challenges and loss, you can respond more effectively when they happen. You won't be as emotionally shaken because you've already processed the idea that life is full of uncertainties. Negative visualization allows you to be at peace with change, and it gives you the strength to face whatever comes your way. In short, this practice helps you build resilience by preparing for the worst while appreciating the present. In fact, Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By taking ownership of your thoughts and responses, you empower yourself to make meaningful changes in your life. Instead of blaming others or circumstances for your unhappiness, you recognize that the real source of peace and power lies within your own mind. When you focus on your internal control, you can be more mindful, less reactive, and ultimately more resilient. This principle also encourages you to practice acceptance. While we can control our reactions, we can't control the actions of others or the outcome of events. By accepting this reality, You free yourself from the burden of unrealistic expectations and disappointment. You stop trying to change things that cannot be changed and start focusing on improving the one thing you do have control over, yourself. In summary, focusing on what you can control is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It shifts your attention away from external pressures and towards internal mastery. By honing your ability to control your thoughts and actions, you cultivate inner peace, resilience, and emotional stability, no matter what life throws your way. The 10th principle is to embrace adversity. In Stoicism, hardship and challenges are not seen as obstacles or something to avoid. They are opportunities for growth. The Stoics believed that adversity is not something to fear, but something to welcome, because it's through difficult experiences that we build resilience, character, and wisdom. When we face hardships, we have a choice. We can either let them break us or use them to strengthen our minds and spirits. The Stoic approach is to see adversity as a form of training. Just like a muscle grows stronger when it is tested with resistance, our minds and emotions become stronger when they are tested through difficult situations. By embracing adversity, we allow ourselves to learn, adapt, and improve. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers and emperors, often wrote in his journals about how he viewed obstacles. He saw challenges as necessary for personal growth and development. One of his famous quotes is, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What he meant by this is that the obstacles we face often provide the very opportunities we need to improve ourselves. Without challenges, there is no real progress. Think about how many things in life that seem impossible at first eventually become manageable once you push through the discomfort. Whether it's dealing with a tough job, going through a difficult breakup, or facing financial hardship, every challenge forces us to either adapt or stay stagnant. The Stoic mindset encourages us to choose adaptation, to accept challenges as part of life, and to face them with courage and composure. When we embrace adversity, we stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance. Instead, we become empowered to handle whatever comes our way with grace and strength. Instead of complaining or feeling defeated, we approach problems with curiosity, asking ourselves, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger because of it?" This shift in perspective makes all the difference in how we handle difficult times. Adversity also teaches us about impermanence. It means not being afraid of difficulty when it comes and learning to use it as a tool for personal growth. When you accept that challenges are inevitable and useful, you stop feeling overwhelmed by them. Instead, you view them as part of your journey, and this makes all the difference in how you navigate life. The Stoics encourage us to be like an athlete who sees every training session as an opportunity to get better. Just like you wouldn't expect to get stronger without lifting weights, you shouldn't expect to grow without facing challenges. Life's difficulties are the very conditions that allow us to cultivate patience, wisdom, and emotional resilience. By embracing adversity, we change our relationship with hardship. We no longer fear it or avoid it. We face it head-on and use it as an opportunity to become the best version of ourselves. Each challenge we overcome makes us stronger, more adaptable, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. And in doing so, we unlock a deep sense of peace, knowing that we are equipped to deal with anything life presents to us.